welcome to Coffee Talk with Richard Saucedo and Randy Greenwell. We're here this morning at the conclusion of a marching season, which really kind of went by pretty quick, didn't it, Richard?
It sure did. Great to see everybody this morning. Thanks for joining Coffee Talk. And it did go by fast. You know, it just seems like the other day we were just starting with that first show in September, and now we're done. Amazing.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about this morning, Richard, was this idea of kind of decompressing and looking back in review the year that you've had with your staff and with your students, and the importance of kind of doing that review of the season and the takeaways from it, and preferably before the end of the year, before you get into the new calendar year, doing that. How important do you feel that is, Richard?
I think it's really critical. I think band directors are so busy, and they have so many things to do. And after watching this fall, I don't know how they get it all done, but they do. You know, they figure out how to do it. But I think it's so important to take a look back for a second. Even though we all may be a little tired, we all may be a little burnt out right now on marching band, and we definitely need a break. But I think it's important to look back and ask yourself a few questions. And the first one for me may not be what you expect it to be. You probably need to ask yourself, if we started a new season tomorrow, would all our kids be back? Would all our kids want to come back? Would they be thinking, man, this was so cool? We know it. And kids are smart these days. I don't think kids mind hard work as long as they know there's some payoff for them, and they know that they get to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves. So I would take a look back and say, how did I do not only as a director, but how did I do as a mentor? How did I do as a motivator? And are there some things I need to do differently? Now, for most directors, from what I've seen, I just think they've done a tremendous job. But I think it is really important to check with your kids and ask, if we had to do this over again starting tomorrow, what would you want us to do different? How could we be better? And how could we make sure that you join us again, as a student in our group?
Yeah, and I think too, when we talk about, whether or not they're going to be back, just looking back and seeing whether or not the group got better, aside from competitive success, did the group get better? Did the students feel like they got something out of it from a standpoint of getting better as musicians and developing their skills and abilities to the point where they're excited about the future challenges ahead? And I think that, marching band's a great way to gauge that. And it's certainly momentum that you can use going into the rest of the year. But as Richard's saying, that reflection and that ability to really look at things, and hopefully you've taken some time to take notes throughout the season, and things you would do again next year, things you wouldn't do again next year, and continue to review those notes so that they're at the forefront of your mind as you go into your planning next season. So thanks so much for being with us during this marching season. We're going to continue to do these coffee talks throughout the year. We want to be able to continue to talk about the things that are going on in your band lives, and hopefully continue to keep things at the forefront of your mind as you continue through the rest of your school year. Thanks so much for being with us on Coffee Talk, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.